Today we're going to take a look at this Eureka baby hand grinder, which I have been using quite a bit lately. I've been using it mostly for espresso and a little for pour over, and I want to share my thoughts with you guys on it. First of all, right now it is set up for espresso. I've got it right around, I believe, 28 clicks. And I say I believe 28 clicks because you can't actually see up here where you're at. That is kind of one of the minus points with this grinder. If you compare it to something like a King Grinder K4, that one has got the indices on the outside. And the issue with this one is if you forget how many clicks that you have on there, well, that's too bad. Then you have to close it all the way and then recount. But otherwise, it is a very, very solid grinder. I'm very, very pleased with the results that I've gotten so far, both with espresso and with pour over. So what we're gonna do in today's video is we're gonna make an espresso because it's currently set up for espresso. Then we're gonna take it apart and have a look at it because it's quite cool. It's very easy to take apart. And then finally, we're gonna make a pour over. So I said previously that I didn't quite get why Eureka puts the beans in here first and then dumps it in here. Now I've realized why they do it that way. Okay, so the reason why you don't just pour them in the top is because you do have the stem sticking out up here, and therefore the beans tend to kind of bounce off. So it is easier to just put them here into the glass container first and then transfer. So that's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna use 16 grams of this Dinsler Espresso Roma. This is a very spicy, pungent, 100% Robusta bean, so I'm expecting redonkulous crema. All right, so here is the process. I'm going to give it a spritz. Hopefully it'll be less static. I don't want to spritz it too much because if I do that, then the glass might be sticky on the inside. Just put that in there like that. Tip it over. What I do like is that these threads are very coarse threads, so you can screw it on quickly and easily. And because this is espresso, you know, the powder kind of gets stuck in threads no matter what you're doing. The coarse threads make it easy to turn the glass container on, even if there's powder in the threads. There we go. All right, so that's taken about 40 seconds. Probably about 35 seconds to do the majority, and then there's just a couple of stragglers in there. Okay, let's go ahead and pull it and see how it tastes. Just dump that in there. That time it dumped out fairly cleanly, but I do have some issues, especially if I don't spritz with the grounds getting kind of stuck in there. And in this case, I did also get some stuck to there, probably because of doing a little bit of spritzing inside the glass. So that's something to keep in mind. That's, you know, just a minor pet peeve of this grinder is that the glass is a bit sticky for the grinds. There we go. Got a new WD-T tool. That's pretty convenient. Now let's give that a good tamp and see what our espresso tastes like. Okay, here we go. So, as I figured, that is a redonkulous amount of crema, but the question is, how does it taste? That is a nice, balanced shot. Considering that it's completely Robusta, I was kind of expecting more earthiness, more woodiness. It's got just a little bit of chocolate in there and something just very slightly citrusy. Yeah, it's a good shot. It's not astringent at all. I don't find it to be bitter. I find it just to strike a nice balance. It's got a very nice body to it. Due to the fact that it is a lot of Robusta, you've got crema on there for days. Yeah, it's a pleasant shot, and that is what I can say so far. For this grinder, it gives me pleasant shots, balanced shots. I think it just does a good job all around. As far as the espresso is concerned. And I feel like it does a good job for pour over too.
Getting value from this video? Please take a moment to like and subscribe.
So the next thing that I want to do is just take this apart and show you guys how easy that is. So this bottom burr is going to drop out on a shaft. And all you have to do is turn this nut on top, this knurled nut counterclockwise. Oh, and then just fell out just like that. Look how easy that is. That's all you got to do. So that is the crank right there. That's holding a nut inside, and that is the shaft. You can see that is a machined aluminum piece. It's been anodized, which I think is so nice. I really like anodized aluminum. And on the inside is a golden burr. That is what they call the gold energy burr. Yeah, so that's the gold energy burr right there. And it's got some kind of plating on it. I'm guessing it's titanium plating. So anyway, the deal with these gold energy burrs is that through the plating, they are supposed to last longer, up to 50% longer, and also give you more consistent results. And they look cool. So that's all you gotta do. And then you can clean this out real good. I got this brush here. And just brush that sucker out, brush the threads out inside there. So that I think is really, really cool. From a maintenance standpoint, just how easy it is to take apart, so that you don't have such a dirty grinder all the time. Yeah, just simple brushing, and now it's nice and clean again. And that is nice. So I can just put this back inside. And what I think is really interesting, if you can see that, is that shaft, that machine shaft in there, it is only on this one side here. So that machine shaft has got a bearing in there. The whole length of the shaft is a bearing as far as I can tell. So that's a pretty cool thing. That's gonna hold it really steady and give you good results in the consistency as well. That's a 48 millimeter burr, by the way. Okay, the outside edge of the bottom burr is what's 48. Let's put this back together. There is also this kind of washer on there, so don't lose that washer, and a spring as well. Don't lose those two things. Keep those on the shaft and you'll be good to go. So I'm just gonna put this back together just like so. I'm gonna put the top handle back on and then just start screwing it back together. And you should see this start to get pulled in. Excellent. So now we're clean again and we are at the 0 point. So to make this a little bit easier, Eureka does have a couple of graphics. They show you how many times you gotta turn this in order to get to espresso range, or to get to Turkish, or to get to pour overs. All right, so for pour over, the chart tells me to go to 50, so I'm just gonna try 50. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
All right, so I do kind of look like an idiot here counting all of those clicks, but I still do find it easier doing it that way rather than counting all the revolutions and adding clicks afterwards. That's just how I like to do it.
Okay, and let's see how it is to turn through these lighter roast beans. I'm gonna do 17 grams. There's still a little bit of moisture in here, so I'm not gonna spritz them. And let's see how long it takes to do this for pour over. All right, so for my pour over, I'm a little too cheap to go out and buy one of those expensive gooseneck electric kettles. But what I found is this guy. So this will allow me to pour in a similar fashion. Pour my coffee grounds in there. And I'm going to use a recipe that I found on the internet where we first bloom it for a bit, then we let it run through, then we'll stop the flow again, and then finally let it finish off. Okay, here we go. So I'm not going to pretend that I am an expert on pour over. I'm certainly not. I am a novice, but it's fun to experiment with this too. So we're supposed to let that bloom for about 30 seconds, and then we're going to open it up and pour our next 90 grams at 30 seconds. Let's do that. Right in the middle. We're gonna let that go to about 1 minute and 10. And we're gonna close it up again and go around in a pattern. Okay, there's a minute 10. Okay, and at a minute 40, I'm gonna let the rest run through. The whole process should take somewhere around 3 minutes. Bam. Alrighty, I would say that that's just about done right there. And that's what the coffee bed looks like, by the way. All right, and how's a pour over taste? Oh dang, that is very aromatic. That's an interesting cup of coffee. It's got something like, reminds me of apricot jam, certainly that kind of sweetness in there. Maybe also a little shortbread. Very, very pleasant. So I'm supposed to taste almonds and a mild sweetness with this bean. And I'm definitely getting nice sweetness, just a little bit of acidity. But yeah, a sweetness and just a tiny bit of acidity that reminds me a bit of apricot jam. Very tasty cup of coffee. So yeah, this grinder, I think, is very versatile. You can use it for espresso, you can use it for pour over, you can use it for, you know, any method in between. And it's nice to use. I mean, this grinder just feels premium. I am a sucker for anodized aluminum. It's nice to feel. It's you know, a little cool to the touch. It's smooth, it's metal, and very nice to use. So from an ergonomic usage standpoint, I am quite enjoying this. I like very much how easy it is to take apart and put back together. I really like that. I'm a little concerned about this glass bottom, to be honest. On the one hand, it's cool that you can see the grounds coming through there. On the other hand, I'm a clumsy guy, as you've noticed in my videos, and at some point I'm probably gonna drop this and break it. That would be my guess. And the other thing is that the grounds do stick to it, and then it doesn't look as nice anymore. But you know, that's nitpicking. This is just something that looks stately. If you have this in your kitchen or on your desk at work or whatever, that just looks nice, looks money. Yeah, all in all, nice grinder, nice to use from a turning standpoint. It's got really nice touch points with the anodized aluminum in your one hand, anodized aluminum in your other hand that you're turning. The knob is also anodized. The main thing that I have to say that's negative about the grinder is the fact that you have to count and remember where you're at. So if you don't use it for a week or two, you might think, where was I? Espresso, pour over. So yeah, that's the one thing. Otherwise, very nice grinder. Thanks for watching the video. Until next time, I say happy coffee drinking and happy espresso drinking. Bye now.